Hey guys, so today's video is going to be all about sleep. So we are in my bed, and that is my excuse for not wanting to set up my filming space. So if you saw my vlog last week, you may have noticed that my sleep schedule is not exactly normal at all. So I thought I'd try to explain why that is. Basically, a weird side effect of EDS that people don't generally talk about is lack of sleep. And that's not just because of the so-called painsomnia, which, as anyone with a chronic illness knows, is when you can't sleep because you're in pain. Obviously we get that, but apparently EDS also has random adrenaline spikes at night, which A, I don't understand why, and B, is really just mean. I mean, chronic illness is not exactly nice on its own, but like, adrenaline spikes at night? Who needs that? I assume that it affects everyone differently, so if you have EDS, I would love to hear how it affects you, and I can obviously then only speak on my personal experience, which is what we're gonna do. So, the way EDS adrenaline spikes affect me is super annoying, really. I think I mentioned that I have anxiety before, right? So that doesn't help with sleep as it is, but EDS makes it like 20-30 times worse. I go from having just generally trouble sleeping to insomniac periods where I literally cannot sleep at night at all. Now, obviously, I've talked to my doctors about this and we've tried to fix it. Over the summer, I was prescribed a lot of different sleep medications, but most of them sent me into anaphylaxis, and then I ended up in the hospital, so we kind of stopped that route. Recently, our plan is to go a bit of a more natural route, so I'm taking melatonin again, which I don't like, and I'll explain why in a second, and an amino acid called L-theanine, I think that's right, which is supposed to help with sleep as well as anxiety, so that's kind of interesting, I would say. Does it help me? That's the real, million-dollar question, as they say. I'm not sure. I have tried to take melatonin in the past, and I didn't like it because I thought it gave me more nightmares, and it is doing that again. For the past year to year and a half, I would say, I have actually been plagued with chronic nightmares, which sucks, and is also possibly because of EDS. Because when you have adrenaline spikes at night, either you don't sleep, or if you do sleep, you have really vivid dreams and nightmares. So in my case, it's just nightmares because I'm lucky. Although I've heard that adrenaline spikes and vivid dreams can help with lucid dreaming, so that could be interesting, but yeah, I don't have the luck to experience that. I just get woken up all the time with horrors, so that's fun. But yeah, and since I started taking melatonin, that has only increased, so usually when I wake up, my nightmares fade really quickly, but since I've started on the melatonin again, they kind of stay with me and they feel much more real, so that's fun. Does it help me? I guess. My insomniac period has more or less decreased since starting all of these new medications. It's easier for me to fall asleep, and I fall asleep at a normal-ish time. I'm shooting for before midnight, but then I still wake up 5 or 6 times a night, and that's usually because of nightmares, which isn't great. I'm also constantly tired, which is probably a chronic fatigue thing, but it's really annoying to go and sleep for 12 or 13 hours and still feel like you've been up the entire night or the past 2 nights or whatever. It's really frustrating. I have to admit, this is one of the things I hate the most about EDS. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and sleep is generally an escape from pain. So if I were able to sleep normally and wake up feeling rested, I think I would have a much easier time of it, but I can't. I actually went through a period where I was scared to sleep, and just the thought of, not the thought, but the action of trying to fall asleep, so, you know, lying in bed, eyes closed, whatever, would cause me to start panicking because I was so scared of what was going to happen in my dreams, because my nightmares are not your everyday run-of-the-mill, I don't know, monsters or whatever. No. I get tormented by my grandfather, my parents being disappointed or angry at me, and dead friends, because I am just that lucky. And as I mentioned, this happens every single night. So if you ever meet me, or you just ask how I am, my default answer will be tired. Always. I don't think I've said good to that, honestly, in the past 2 or 3 years. And I don't really know what to do about it. I'm probably going to make a video about therapy once I start it up again, and maybe that'll help. But if you guys have any tips with coping with nightmares, that would be awesome, because I don't know. It doesn't generally affect me, as in, I don't always wake up terrified and then spend the next day terrified, but I do get periods of thinking back about what I dreamed and thinking, wow, that's really horrible. Why does my brain do this? Why does it exist? Why does this keep happening to me? Not exactly a super happy video, but it's one of those fun realities of chronic illness, so I wanted to bring it up, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it educational. If nothing else, you can enjoy my amazing miniature top hat that I really should wear more often, and I don't know why I don't. I don't really care if it's seen as normal. It's a top hat. I love it. But I digress. Should I make a video about my love of hats sometime? I feel like I could. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, night, weekend, whatever. Weekend isn't a time, but you know what I mean. And I hope you're getting better sleep than I do. So sleep well and sweet dreams. Bye.